Crews have been trying to stabilize the area ever since the hillside gave way 2 months ago. Our team coverage continues with 10 News reporter Bob Lawrence. New at 5, we are following a developing story out of Chula Vista where police have shot and killed an elderly man. 10 News reporter Elsa Sevilla is live at the scene. Elsa, what can you tell us? A developing story from City Heights where the death of a man could be linked to a fatal hit-and-run crash. The man has been identified as 23-year-old Arturo Luis Martinez. His body was found in the 3800 block of Winona Avenue about 6:30 this morning. Martinez suffered severe injuries to his upper body, including his head. About a mile away from that scene, there was a report of a hit-and-run crash. Investigators believe Martinez was run over by 2 cars and was then dumped at the scene where his body was found. No arrests have been made. Think you can avoid the rain indoors? Not if you head to the Civic Theater downtown. New at 5:45, we'll check out the latest show playing there, Cirque Éloise Rain. Balboa Park is a little brighter tonight. Rain or no rain, December nights kicked off just a few minutes ago. We are learning more about the horrific shooting inside a Nebraska mall. Covering America, Omaha police released details of a suicide note left behind by the gunman. And for the first time, we hear the frantic 911 calls. 19-year-old Robert Hawkins shot and killed 8 people inside a department store before turning the gun on himself. Authorities also released the suicide note Hawkins left behind in the mall. The letter says, quote, "I just snapped and everyone will remember me as some sort of monster." Surveillance photos of Hawkins were also released today. The images show Hawkins entering the mall unarmed, but then he returns with an AK-47 hidden underneath his clothes. Moments later, he goes on a murderous rampage. Baseball's home run leader spent his day in a San Francisco courtroom. Barry Bonds pleaded not guilty to perjury and obstruction of justice charges. Federal prosecutors accused him of lying to a grand jury that investigated his suspected use of steroids. A judge let him go free on a $500,000 bond. It was a wet start to the day, followed by some gusty winds across the county. San Diegans dealt with rain and fear of mudslides in the wildfire-affected areas once again. The rain and windy conditions for the weekend is tonight's big story. Across the county, San Diegans woke up to the sound of rains. So will Mother Nature put a damper on your weekend plans? Continuing our pinpoint weather alert coverage, here's Lauren Nancaro. One of the city championship football games is a major underlying theme as the players battle it out on the field. The game is Mission Hills versus Oceanside, going on right now. The Mission Hills team is playing without one of its own, Scotty Evelyn. He's been lying in a hospital bed since being hurt early in the season and slipping into a coma. Many veterans attended a wreath-laying ceremony in Hawaii overlooking the USS Arizona Memorial. A memorial for the USS Oklahoma was also dedicated. The number killed on the Oklahoma is second only to the Arizona on that fateful day. Other survivors here in San Diego remembered the fallen at a ceremony in Balboa Park. Covering the military, 10 News digital correspondent Maxwell Gardner was there for the commemoration. His name was associated with more than 145,000 items, including, get this, a grilled cheese sandwich, which netted a winning bid of $30. The seller claimed Bond's 756 home run ball bounced off the sandwich into San Francisco's AT&T Park. And Steve, you've been talking about how hungry you are. I bet that would be pretty tasty, huh?
The cheese sandwich that the home run ball bounced off.
No, thank you.
They'll buy anything.
Right.
They'll buy anything.
We'll take a final look at the freeways next.
Stay with us.
It is rush hour and the roads are a mess. Brooke Landau, sort it all out for us, please. Well, the rain didn't create as many problems as expected, and that has people in La Jolla breathing a sigh of relief tonight. Crews working at the site of the landslide say they were prepared to keep the hillside from more sliding. New at 11, a fire has destroyed a home in La Mesa. It broke out a couple of hours ago on 71st Street near Stanford Avenue. Crews say flames quickly swept through the home. No one was inside at the time, but some pets were lost in the fire. The cause is not yet known. Chula Vista police making a welfare check instead found an elderly man armed with a weapon. Officers, fearing for their safety, began shooting at the 90-year-old suspect. It happened on the 200 block of Orange Avenue in the South Bay. 10 News reporter Elsa Sevilla joins us live with more. Some elementary school students are in for an itchy holiday season. 8 students at St. Patrick Elementary School in Carlsbad have come down with chickenpox. It turns out 6 of them had only received one of the 2 recommended doses of the chickenpox vaccine. Chickenpox is a highly contagious disease that can spread quickly through coughing, sneezing, or contact with other people who have chickenpox. A bittersweet day for the Mission Hills High School football team. The team played its championship game at Qualcomm Stadium without one of its own. Scotty Evelyn is still recovering from a brain injury he suffered on the football field 3 months ago. His parents say he was looking forward to playing with his teammates. Evelyn is still undergoing rehab, but his parents say he is showing signs of improvement. We'll have full highlights of the game. That's coming up tonight on First and 10. Today marked the 66th anniversary of the bombing of Pearl Harbor. Ceremonies were held across the nation, including here in San Diego. Survivors and their families gathered at the Veterans Museum in Balboa Park to honor those who died. The attack killed more than 2,000 people. New at 11, Hollywood producers say talks with striking writers have broken down. The 5-week strike has sidelined many primetime and late-night shows. The Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers say the Writers Union is trying to delay or derail talks. The Writers Guild of America has accused the alliance of dragging its heels and putting new proposals on the table. Covering America tonight, police released surveillance pictures of the shooter who killed 8 people in a Nebraska mall before killing himself. Security cameras first showed Robert Hawkins entering a department store shortly after 1:30. 6 minutes later, he returned with an AK-47. Police say Hawkins left behind handwritten notes to friends. In them, he wrote that everyone would remember him as a monster. In a note to his family, he said they would be better off without him. An emotional trial in Florida is over tonight. A jury convicted Antonio Rosales of raping and trying to kill a 10-year-old girl. Rosales came into the courtroom wearing a bizarre mesh head covering and mask. Authorities say they put it on him after he threatened to spit at people. The strange attire came a day after a shocking outburst. Rosales says he was insulted by the prosecutor, calling him a child molester, causing the tantrum. Today, a judge sentenced him to 3 consecutive life sentences for the crime.